Hey guys, it is Raven. I'm here with another interview for you guys, and today I'm here with Disaster Artist. So how you guys doing?
Good. What's up?
We're doing great, yeah.
On
Yeah.
tour right now. This is day
Five,
five,
four?
6, 4.
Time blends when you're on the
Yeah.
road.
Hell yeah. All right, so I guess first question I'll start it off with is how'd you guys get your name?
So we were big fans of The Room, which is, do you know what The Room is?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those who don't know what The Room is, it's known as one of the worst movies, but it's so bad that it's good.
Yeah.
And we've been huge fans of The Room since we were
I think middle school.
Middle
When
school.
we started seeing the compilations of it.
Yeah.
And then in middle school, all of our friends would just quote it all the time. And so it was just not really an inside joke because I think a lot of people on the internet found it funny, but it was something that we always found hilarious.
Yeah, but
So-
I think the biggest thing was then that the Disaster Artist book came out, and I read that book, and I was honestly so incredibly inspired by it that because it's kind of about an underdog in a way where it's someone's so passionate about the thing they're making and no one else believes in it, but through that they still end up making something beautiful that people connect to, even though it wasn't in the way that they intended. So in a lot of ways we were we're gonna make a band that sucks so much that it's awesome, which is kind of the ethos and why we ended up using the name Disaster
And
Artist.
also, it was our quote in high school. It was like "You're tearing me apart, Lisa" was our quote.
Yeah.
So I think that was just a thing for a little nod to the
to
name.
Tommy.
To Tommy.
Tommy
yeah.
and Greg. Shout out Tommy and Greg. We love you both.
We love you guys.
Right. Hell yeah. All right. So kind of talking about the band. So what made you guys settle on your sound? What were some of your musical inspirations?
I think fundamentally we're huge fans of the Beatles. That's what we listened to as kids all the time. Led Zeppelin. Those are the stuff that we both grew up playing because we've been playing music together since we were 6 years old. But we didn't start this band until 2 years ago. So it's kind of all been bubbling there. But we then saw The Garden, who is another twin two-piece, and when we saw that band, we were both holy crap, why are we not playing together? So they're a huge influence on us. And the Venus Twins, who are another twin band, who we ended up actually becoming really good friends with, but huge influence on us. They
I would say
inspire me so much.
For the Venus Twins, I think we played a show with them, and seeing them live was just an inspiration. We were wow, they're so talented and so tight, and it just inspired us to get better at our instruments.
And also the
And the
kindest,
kindest people ever.
Yeah, which has been something that inspires me just in my personal life all the time. I'm always what would the Venus Twins do? And that's how I try to be in a lot of situations.
So I know you guys remixed, I think it was Missed by the Venus Twins. So how did that relationship kind of come together? How'd you guys meet the Venus Twins and then ended up actually remixing one of their songs?
You want to take this?
Yeah, I'll take it. So, I think Joe reached out to them, was just hey, we're a twin band, we'd love to play a show with you. And then just by happenstance, I think they had a bill in Philly, and they were hey, I don't know if they reached
I don't
out
think they reached out. I think we just ended up on the bill. Yeah.
Yeah, we just ended up on the bill, and immediately when we first started talking to them, it was this cosmic connection. Because we've met a lot of twins, but with them it was there's so many similarities.
Yeah,
and
we were just running through everything we had in common. We were what's your middle name? What's what pets did you have?
What
What's your
instruments did you
birthday?
play?
And
Yeah.
there were so many things that we were just holy moly.
Yeah.
All these things clicked. But then we just kept hanging out with them. We've recorded a few songs that are things we're working on with them. So other than remixes, we've jammed with them a bunch and done
And they
stuff.
also, I think the first thing is they were kind enough to ask us to do a music video for them. So that was really the door into us kind of collaborating. And then I think they just were hey, do you guys want to do a Mist remix at some point? And we were yeah, of course, because we did the music video for that song too. So yeah, it was just an organic thing. And they're some of our
Best friends, yeah.
They're awesome.
Which I also want to just take a second to also say that big influences, Friend, our homies.
Yes, for
we
sure.
are always making stuff with them and a part of that community, and they are huge influences on us as well. I just wanted to
And
put that in there.
I would also like to add for influences too. I think we're inspired by because we're doing a new record now too that's more acoustic stuff. So a lot of that type of thing, but also
Alex G.
Alex G. I just wanted to throw that in
George
there.
Clanton.
George Clanton. We
another
love
one.
George
There's
Clanton.
everything.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That was a bit of a tangent on
Yeah.
that, but there's so many things.
Yeah.
It's kind of an endless list.
So both like you guys and Friend are both from Philly. So like, how did you guys make that connection like with the band, and like how did you guys meet them?
So Josh is over there actually stretching.
Walk away.
But we actually went to college with Josh, and through like a mutual friend, we met them and then roomed with them for 3 years. And we were in this band called Cowboy Cowboy, where Josh was playing bass, and I was kind of fronting that band and playing guitar for a while. And then we kind of like switched that. Where now Chris fronts.
Well, I was fronting that as well.
Yeah, we were both.
That wasn't
fronting
just Joe.
it. Sorry.
That's
Sorry.
inaccurate.
I got the ego. I'm the older twin. That's how it goes. But yeah, we just kind of like we're going to school with Josh, and then Josh like Autumn and Aubrey were Josh's friends from home. They came to visit, and we immediately clicked with them as well, and then just naturally started making music with them all the time, and we still do. So it's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, we live like maybe like 4 or 5 blocks away from them now, so we hang out all the time.
Yeah. So yeah, great friends, awesome people.
That's what's up. So, what was it like growing up in Philly? Because I know, like, Philly is like very much like an art city. There's a lot of artists out there. So, like, what did that kind of have any influence on you? Like the scene out there, like how, like growing up, like what was it like? And then, like, did that have any influence on your music?
So you want
You want to do it?
I'll say take
Okay.
it. So we actually didn't grow up in Philly.
Okay.
We're from New Jersey.
Oh, okay. So you're from New Jersey.
Yeah.
and you moved to Philly.
Yes, we went to school in Philly, and I mean the Philadelphia scene, because where we grew up, there. I mean, we've always been around music growing up. Our dad was in a cover band, so that was really our, like, introduction to live music, which was awesome to get to experience that. But where we grew up, original music was really not a thing. So we, honestly, throughout most of our life until we went to college, we weren't really exposed to a lot of original music. But I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that's
listening
not
to stuff.
super true though, because
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
our cousin is in a band called
Yes,
Late
that's
Waves,
so true.
who is an Asbury Park band, and the Asbury Park scene is super cool. So we would always go up there, which was like maybe 40 minutes from where we lived, and where we lived was by the shore. Only cover bands, not really any original music yet, but we would go and watch them. South Jersey, yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah,
like
yeah,
no original music, and we were kind of like we didn't even think it was possible to do original music for a long time because we just didn't see it. But then when we saw Late Waves playing, but they were in another band before this, but we were like, whoa, this is possible. This
Yeah.
is super cool. They inspired us so much.
For inspirations, I would say them
Huge,
too.
them
That-
too,
they're probably
hugely
the
biggest. They're
one of the
actually
biggest
probably
ones
the
for
reason
us.
we started making music was because of them. So shout out Late Waves, check them out, please. And the Mosers, that was the band before. They're super awesome. But we would go up to Philly for shows. Like when I was in high school, we would go up to Philly for shows, and that's why we moved there because we were like, holy crap, this scene is amazing, and it was just like, it's bursting with music, and it feels like it's getting better and better and better.
And
you know?
just creatives. I mean, the school we went to just actually shut down, which was really sad, because we met so many awesome, amazing musicians there. But Philly, no matter what, is gonna have a cool creative scene.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah, I love Philly. I haven't been there in like, I think it's been like 10 years. Last time I was in Philly. But I love Philly. I have a bunch of friends out there, a lot of musicians. I love the scene. I've definitely thought about moving there. I like Michigan. I'm from Ann Arbor, which is like 40 minutes west of here. But I like the scene out here. I like Detroit. But like there's something about Pennsylvania that I just really like. Like both Pittsburgh and Philly, I really like, because I've been to Pennsylvania dozens of times. I go out to visit my family in like North VA,
Cool.
like the DMV, like DC area.
That's where Friends originally from.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I love the DMV.
Yeah.
But like Philly to me has just always been like an art city. I feel like I see a lot of parallels with it with like Detroit. I feel like in some ways, like both like Rust Belt kind of rundown towns, but still have like a very vibrant art scene. But I definitely think that like Philly is like definitely underrated when it comes to terms of like art scenes, like the big cities. Like people always like think about like LA, New York, Atlanta, and kind of like Detroit and Philly. I feel like they're kind of like in the same boat where it's like people are aware of it, but it's like kind of on the back burner. But like bringing it back to kind of like mainly the interview, you guys recently released your EP Kickass. So like what was the process of making that?
You want to start this?
You got it. You got it.
So it right now it is an EP, but it's eventually going to be an album. It's like
Okay.
turning. We just have so many songs on the album because it's going to be a full concept album
Okay.
called The Bag of Infinite Songs. So it's a massive album. Basically, the idea was we just wanted to fill it with music
How
because
many songs we're looking at?
I think 20 right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
20
that's a lot.
That's 20, but it's 20 with there's probably maybe 50 songs and most of them are getting cut just because it's no one's gonna listen to a 50-song record.
Yeah, because we made it that long, and then we were like, we tried to listen to it, and it's good, but we were like, there's no way anyone will ever get
it's
through
just
this.
too long.
So we might eventually like do a deluxe with all those extra songs. But the idea is that we have this universe for disaster artists where the whole idea is that disaster artist lives in this post-apocalyptic world called the Trashlands, where after this artificial intelligence called Tim ran an algorithm that determined that the root cause of all the world's problems was humanity. They dropped a bomb on the East Coast, nuking it, turning it into like a trash-ridden apocalyptic wasteland. And out of that, these wizards are just like kind of roaming it, and there's all these different gangs in the Trashlands who play music and kind of get up to no good, I guess would be the best way to describe it. But we're working on a concept album and a comic book that goes with it that tells this story. Yeah, so it's all kind of been building up to that, and we've been trying to release issues of the comic book to go with each single. So we've kind of taken a break too to like step back because we realized that we were
rushing it a little bit.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
An
yeah.
issue per song. That's a lot.
Yeah, and we were doing it as we were, so we would be like writing the issue and then we'd release that issue, but we like kind of got the whole comic like outline now, and then we realized, oh, we have to kind of go back and edit, so we're just taking a little break from putting them out.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a full concept album with a comic book or graphic novel. But yeah, that's kind of like the gist of it. And if you want to know more about it, you're gonna have to get the comic book.
Hell yeah. So, and correct me if I'm wrong. Both you guys draw, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, where did that like inspiration for like drawing come from, and like how'd you guys start drawing, and then like from that, like what inspired your style? Like how'd you guys find your style?
Our dad is an illustrator, and he does caricatures, and he's just like paints all the time. There's huge canvases in my room, which is a lot of our album covers are my dad's art.
Oh, that's cool.
Or
So-
grandfather's.
Or our grandfather's. Yeah.
Well, I think just one is our grandfather's, but most of it's our dad's.
Our grandfather was also a graphic designer in New York City. He passed before we ever met him, though, so all we know of him is the artwork, which I think like kind of like got deep in our psyche because we would see all this beautiful art all the time and be like, whoa, like this is so cool. And I guess we've just always been around it, so we've always been drawing. But we also love tattoos.
Hell yeah.
Tattoo artwork, American traditional specifically, I think is a big influence on us. But yeah, we just like draw all the time. Just, like I used to go out and just like draw buildings and stuff, and it kind of just comes from whatever I'm into at the moment.
I think for both of us, it's just something that, helps. It's kind of like a therapy thing because it's just something that we've always done that feels like home.
Hell
Yeah, like helps with our anxiety because we're both super anxious too. So we just do it when we're stressed,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely art is definitely something that I personally feel like helps me a lot with like my anxiety. But like kind of with that, like how does it kind of feel like having kind of like, you guys got your dad involved with your music, like do you guys ever see like possibly like making a song with your dad, like including him on your projects at all?
So that's a great question. I think Joe's put some songs out with our dad on it. We have a couple songs with him,
Okay.
but not on. I don't think he's actually been like
Nothing
featured
on
any-
Disaster
on
Artist.
Disaster
Yeah,
Artist.
I think at least where we are right now with the band, we just have such a clear vision of like this world we're building with the concept album. So we've kind of just been like hyper focused on that. But hopefully one day we would do something with him. But if you do want to hear my dad's voice, he's on the last song on Anti-Pop Inc. by Pops Tuna, which is my solo stuff. So he's on some of my
And
music.
he plays
stuff.
guitar on another one of Joe's songs, Shiver.
Shiver, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's what's up. All right, so on the topic of Tuna, how did Tuna Collective come together?
Cool, dude. It's awesome you know about Tuna Collective.
hell
So I started Pops Tuna after Cowboy kind of was a thing. Pops Tuna.
Cowboy Cowboy was still a thing, but I think COVID was really what happened. COVID happened, and then none of us went the band we were in, nobody could play music anymore together. So we all just kind of started doing our own solo stuff. And Joe's was Pops Tuna. And then I don't know, we just loved the name Tuna.
Yeah, we loved the name, and Josh was doing Friend, Chris was doing Jace's Phantasm. We had Cowboy Cowboy, so and our friend Fletcher was in Fluey. So we had all these bands, and we were like, this is kind of a thing, but it doesn't have a name. And then in my mind, I was like, all right, let's just call it Tuna because Tuna's cool. Yeah. And it was something that kind of was easy to write. And I don't know, it was like a catchy, just something interesting. So we called it Tuna Collective, just like all these groups of all these bands we were making. And we started throwing shows at our house that we would just like put under the Tuna Collective stuff and throw all these different shows. But yeah, it kind of just was like a natural thing where we're all making music. And
I want to add too, like one of the big inspirations for that was we watched a documentary. I forget what it was called, Jody.
Elephant Six. I don't remember what the documentary it was. I don't think it was out. We like pirated it from our friend Casimir. Shout out Casimir. Shout out pirating. Yeah, it's for real. So we watched this. It's on Elephant Six, which is like Neutral Milk Hotel of Montreal, Apples in Stereo, all these bands who like created a collective. And so we were just like, whoa, like this is the coolest thing that has ever happened. We got to do something like this. Yeah, exactly. So we kind of just took from that and tried to do it ourselves, which we got to get back into it because we've just been so focused.
We moved back to Jersey, so I think that was a big thing for us. It was hard to stay doing it with everybody being so far removed from all of our friends, but we just moved back to Philly, so.
More Tuna stuff for sure going to happen soon, yeah.
So kind of like talking about the future, like what are your guys' plans like for the rest of the year? Because we still have about like 6 months left of the year. So like what are the plans with like Disaster Artist or like maybe some of your more solo stuff that you guys are working on independently?
I think the big thing for us is we're still working on the Bag of Infinite songs. It's pretty much done, but we want to do it justice, so it's going to take a while for it to come out. It might come out next year, so we're still going to work on videos for it and, refine the comic. But we also have another record that we did that I think we both might like a little bit better.
Yeah. But the Bag of Infinite Songs is like super electronic because I had a shoulder injury after our last tour and I was out for like 6 months. I couldn't play drums, so we were just producing music constantly instead, and it just turned into this like electronic kind of album without not as many real drums and not as many guitars, kind of synthesizers and stuff, which is kind of where the Bag of Infinite Songs came from. But then after that, when I started to be able to play the drums again, we were working on this other album that's like acoustic, but also sometimes punk, and it's like just like a more live.
Yeah, and I think for this, the Bag too, we weren't really making it with the intent of. I think for the Bag, we kind of knew we wanted to make a record that was super long, but this other project, we just were making music, which I think we hadn't done in a while. We were so album focused for a long time, so to just make music with no expectation was really nice.
Yeah, so all those songs are like full of heart because they weren't made for any other reason just other than we were feeling it, and it just came out of us. But I'm also putting out a record for Pops Tuna on the 25th of next month and some remixes. Chris did one, I did one, I got some other friends doing some remixes, so stuff for that. Chris might, I don't know, are you?
I'm working on stuff, but I have my project Jace's Phantasm, which has some records on there, but I might do like a new project. We'll see. I have stuff in the works.
Yeah, but just keep playing shows and stuff. That's kind of the plan.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. So I guess just like kind of like wrapping up the interview. Like this is a question I like to ask like every artist I interview, just because like I think it's really interesting like hearing the different perspectives on this. But like to any like artist or like musician who's watching this interview right now, and like what is a piece of advice you would give them?
I love that question. That's great. Can we both answer this separately?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
You can go first.
I think I would say never stop, never give up, because there's a lot of times where you're going to feel like, yo, no one likes this. Everyone thinks I suck. Because I feel that almost every day, But you got to just keep making stuff because it's not for anybody else, It's for you. It's like the act of making it is a release of anxiety, stress. It's to find something greater than yourself, whatever it is. Like, just don't stop, because if the more you make, the better the stuff's gonna be, and like you'll just it brings me joy. You know, the act of creation, I think, is a beautiful thing. And even if you're like, oh, I don't think I can do it, you could do it. Anyone can do it. You just have to keep trying, and you're just gonna get better at it every time you do it. You know.
I think for me, what I've been really leaning into lately is just making stuff that is authentic to me and trying to not, get so caught up on what you think other people want you to make or, appeasing. Just making stuff that makes you happy and not trying to fit a mold. Because I think it can be very easy sometimes to, get caught up in a scene or trying to make stuff that is a specific style because that's what people are expecting of you. So I think that's something that I've been kind of working on, and I would suggest anybody try to, make stuff that you love, even if, someone else doesn't like it. If you love it, that's awesome. And also, go out to shows, meet people. That's one of the greatest joys in the world is, hanging out with people. And so going to shows is a great way to meet cool, like-minded people. So.
I think both of those points are like really good pieces of advice. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you guys for coming out here, doing the show, and being down for doing this interview. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Make sure to go check out Disaster Artists. I'll have all their stuff linked in the description down below. And I'll see you guys on my next interview. Peace.